Hello, dear colleagues. My name is Semen Bosonogov. I'm a sociology student of Higher School Economics in St. Petersburg. And today in our talk, we'll try to look on the development of AI-generated art from sociological, maybe perceptional point of view. So let us a bit remind about the trends in AI development. So it is rapid, and now it is a situation when pre-trained models such as ChatGPT or Midjourney are available for mass uses, and everyone can have an access to it and use it for its own purposes. So for us, it is interesting the moods about it, how people perceive them, and how and for what purposes we use it. So let us a bit look at the field overview, at the fields, and already some studies in it. So firstly, we will define perception as an emotional attitude towards something expressed socially. Something is could be an object or an event, and socially it means in communication or interaction with our people. So about the perception of technologies in general, there are maybe theoretical and empirical findings that we can divide people who are in some way aware of AI technologies on AI alarmists and AI enthusiasts. This is the first AI enthusiasts. They are the people who are optimistic about the implementation of AI technologies, and AI alarmists, they are those who are pessimistic and are aware of it. So AI can be trusted, but with a certain question. The other studies, they are experiments in human and computer interaction field, and they about the evaluation of AI art. So it's closer to our topic, and how people evaluate it, at least on the moment of 2020. And studies found that AI art is still evaluated lower when human art. And there are some studies that are close to us. They are about the perception of trained models by the adopters of ChatGPT, and they found that they generally see it as they see it positive towards topics on innovation, but negative towards education, implementation of it in education, and like on the labor market. So overall, now there are mixed emotions about how we should evaluate AI also in different and its implementation in different fields. So open questions for the studies now are the phenomena of again pre-trained AI models use in mass use, and perceptions of the accessibility and pervasiveness of generative AI in image and text perception. In our research, what we want to do, we want to evaluate how people perceive the use of pre-trained model in image making. We will not consider ChatGPT in our study, and what topics we discuss, and in what sentiments. And we have used text analysis of online discussions, which are not equal to the surveys or interviews of experts who are already professional in the area of AI technologies. And we want to study it on the internet because, again, there is a large sample of people with different backgrounds and who communicate with each other, and their communications are not any controlled by researchers, can be controlled. And the online communities of these people are open, and there are certain clusters of mind-like people. So it is convenient for us to find certain conversations that are interesting for us. So we have decided to use Reddit as the most popular social website with its 3 popular subreddits that are dedicated to the AI art and its discussion. So, and we have parsed comments from the top posts from these subreddits for analysis. And we have used computational methods of text analysis. It's just computation of word statistics, topic modeling with LDI model, and sentiment analysis with sentiment lexicons being in FN. So firstly, about what we have got. Firstly, it's the word statistics, and on this slide, the most interesting the corpus size. So it's about 240,000 words in overall, and the most frequent words are AI, art, like. Art is just good. So maybe it's a bit obvious because we analyze comments from the subreddits on AI art. Second, it's the topic modeling. Firstly, we have applied several metrics for defining the number of topics which will be suitable for us, and also we have defined it by our personal experience, our personal subjective research, because in social science we also estimate the interpretation by ourselves. So we have decided to stay at 15 number of topics, and in the result we have 15 topics, and on the slides we have highlighted in a bold font the topics that we have interpreted, because they are more or less related to the social cultural issues. So the first topic is power and economic issues. For example, there are words such as power, labor, capitalism, etc. The second, AI and human, it is related to the AI artists, the human works, the human artworks, etc. Reactions are the just reactions on the AI art. Next, art description. It's mostly about how people make prompts, so how they text the what words they text for Midjourney or Daily to generate an image. The next one, copyright issues. Here, the comments are mostly related to how we could estimate the AI art in terms of law. The debates are just the comments about debates, because I don't know how to name it in our words. So industry and business, it's a bit similar to power and relationships, but it contains mostly comments about how companies or just people can use AI art and change models for some money making. And social issues, they are in this topic, words and comments are mostly related to the some social things, for example, future, world, bad job, etc. And as a result, again, we have got 15 topics. Part of it related to the social culture issues, and part of it is related to the technical aspects. And for illustrating the social culture topics, we have provided some examples. So, for example, the first comment is about how bad is the automatization of routine, because people can lose a ton of jobs, etc. The second is from copyright issues, how could we estimate it? And the third is just about why AI could not be considered an artist and AI artist also. So also we were interested in how subreddits correspond to the purposes for those they were created by estimating the probability of the comments to be appeared in a topic in this subreddit. And what we got, we have calculated mean probabilities of comments to be appeared in topic for subreddits. And for example, topics which are related to some description of art are more likely to be appeared in AA art and AI-generated art. And for example, topics which are more concerning some social issues are more likely to be appeared in defending AA art. So let's continue. And the topics which are mostly equally distributed across all subreddits are AA in human and machine learning. About the results of sentiment analysis, firstly, how we did it, we computed the mean sentiment for each comment, and after that we computed the mean of the comments for each subreddit. And we got that the most positive subreddit in terms of sentiments is the AI generated art, and the second is AA art, and maybe what could be expected, the defending AA art that is related to some social issues is the most negative one, so less positive, let's say. With our scales are from -5 to 5, so defending AA art got 0.3 mean for its comments. And if we'll look more detailed, we will see that so if we will compare it in topics, we'll see that for example, for AI generated art, we got the 8th topic, which is related to copyright issues, was very negative, particularly in these subreddits in comparison to other ones. But in any way, the overall trend is similar to the box plots on the previous slides. And some conclusions. Firstly, the results showed that while perceptions of AI's ability to create images in art is different complex, at least for Reddit users, they generally use it as positive if we took a general picture. So on technical aspects and image descriptions, these discussions were mostly positive in subreddits related to the art itself, and social cultural issues, they will appear mostly in defending AA art subreddits, and they were found less positive and more negative than in the first two subreddits. And in overall, we can say that at least Reddit users, they are interested in this topic, they are questioning it, they are discussing it, and they are not just passively use the pre-trained models such as Midjourney or DALL-E. And a little bit discussion. So we wanted to compare our results to say, does it support current findings or not? So we found firstly that for a study that is close and similar in some ways for us to our they offer studied Twitter comments on tweets of early adopters of ChatGPT users, and we found that again they positively view this application in entertainment, for example, in technical development, but negative in educational or QA testing. And an interesting study was conducted by Sberg University and Geekbrains. It is a qualitative study with interviews of experts, and they found that generative AI, so they found that generally experts sees the generative AI as an opportunity for education, for its implication, but with a certain risk for students' qualifications, because it's not a secret, use models for their term papers or diplomas, and it's a bit risky now. And more computational study. It compared the ChatGPT answers to human ones, and they found that ChatGPT gives more clear formal answers, but human answers are more subjective in comparison to it and emotional. And our study in some way supports these findings. And a bit about limitations of our study. No, firstly, we had a strict sample, so we cannot generalize our results, while we have used only LDA models, so there is an opportunity for our studies to use different topic modeling methods. We use sentiment lexicon, so maybe it will be more fun to use sentiment language models, and we have used only 3 subgradients, so the lazy data should be used further in the studies in this direction. And also in our spheres, such as education, labor market, the studies should be done. So thank you for attention. If you have any question, please ask.
Do we have questions from the audience? Yeah, a few seconds.
How did you decide how many topics to select? Maybe 20 topics could reveal something interesting aspects, or maybe 50 additional details. How to select?
Yes. Firstly, we have used some formal metrics, yes, which defines the probability of the words to be appeared in certain documents and in the certain.
What metrics?
Was, for example, symmetric divergence or perplexity. But what the question was here, that we interpreted all the topics by ourselves, and for us also it is convenient to take less number of topics because it will be more convenient to interpret it. And we started to so firstly we conducted the formal experiments from 10 to 30 topics, and we find the articles that suggest to look at so we have used a certain R package for our model, and in the article that we have used, it suggests to look at the extremes of the metrics, and we have in some way stopped at 14 or 15 topics, because again, it's enough for us to interpret because it's convenient. And in formally, they also we found convenient. So I hope I answered the question.
Very subjective analysis, yes.
Yes, in some sense.
So maybe yes, something interesting was lost in
yes.
the 21st topic. Yeah. I have a second question, if it's possible. So it seems that some bigrams or some expressions could be more interpretable for some topics. Yes. And did you try to find some models with bigrams with some?
No, we tried to do it, but we decided to stay on just words and use bigrams in further works. So it's a restriction for it's a restriction for us of our study. Yes.
Any other questions from the audience? If no, then
I'd like to,
yeah, of course.
Having the mic. Could you please open the slide 5?
Slide 5.
Yeah, so here you have collected data from some sources. And do you have any guesses if the authors that write there are somehow biased?
In what sense?
In any sense, like maybe there are people who, like in these exact subreddits, people who hate AI and people who like AI grouped somewhere else. Or like it's well known that there are just, let's say, 30 years males living with parents and the other guys do something in other subreddits. So do you have any information about if it's like somehow representative or the audience is biased?
Probably yes, the audience is biased because we have selected only the most popular subreddits, and maybe we have an opportunity to check whether who are the audience, because users, they are anonymous and we do not know pretty anything about their characteristics. So yeah, the bias could take place, yes.
So what?
And
You didn't try anything like comparing the vocabulary, like general vocabulary, with the vocabulary of the, let's say, internet
vocabulary of them and
the internet.
oh no.
So for instance, like if you compare how they say, if they like mention pepper so many times, maybe they are somehow biased towards white radical guys, or this thing.
Yes, I got. Yeah, no, we didn't do that. Thank you. We didn't think about it. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you.
Nevertheless, I have a question if there are no others. I have a question. It's not like about your current research, but a possibility of some other research. How do you think, is it easy? Will it be easy to make the same study for Russian, for example? So we have a lot of online discussions, but we have no such thing as Reddit. We have some other sources and other lexicons and so on. So could you reproduce your study for Russian?
Yes, I think that we can use the sources of discussions. For example, Haber, yes, is one of the most maybe popular sites about informational IT information technologies. Yes, that's all. And we can also, for example, parse not only comments but the post itself, because it's more textual website than Reddit one. I know, maybe some Stack Overflow, maybe if we will filter it for Russian discussions, maybe.
Are there many of such?
No, I don't know. I just suggest the sources.
Okay.
And
what about lexicons? So you used some lexicons for making the analysis, as far as I understand.
yes, yes, being in FN, they are, as I know, are only for English words, and for lexicons, we have such ones. I will not name them right now because I do not remember clearly the names, but we have lexicons and we can use them in this way. So,
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Really interesting talk.
Thank you.
So there is no other questions. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions.